What's in the box? This gun in my hand.
WPBC Studios is supported by Blyco. Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. I wouldn't know. I'd love to have enough money to rent a room somewhere, let alone own a home. I'll never get that doing piecemeal voice work for radio commercials. Oh, excuse me, in public radio they're called underwriting acknowledgments. Anyway, hope you're enjoying a hot toddy next to the fireplace all snug in the home you own. Blyco has some insurance bundles that can save you money. You should look into it. Visit blyco.ver for details.
Falk Zildjian, inescapable hero by virtue of the fact that he carries a gun, sits on a bench in a shady area of Grizzle Park. A bald man approaches and sits next to Falk, looking up and down the path for anyone nearby. He wears a black blazer with a ring of dark facial hair around his mouth and chin. The man sets a large carpet bag on his lap.
Thank you for meeting me here, Mr. Zildjian.
My source said you might have clues to solve a murder?
Yes, my name is Hilario de Soto. My Uncle Larry recently passed away. The cause of death was listed as a heart attack, but, I believe foul play might have been involved. And possibly supernatural forces.
What makes you think that?
Well, for one thing, I'm a retired crime fighter. I was known as the Destroyer.
Oh, sure, I've heard of you. So Hilario de Soto is your real name and Remo Williams was just a cover name?
No, not that Destroyer. I was in comic books.
Were you in the child hero group Power Pack?
No. Unfortunately, a bunch of people have taken the name Destroyer over the years, but I'm not the blue guy from the Space Hero movie. I'm not the pro wrestler. I've never fought the Seventh Doctor or Godzilla.
I didn't realize there were so many.
Ever heard of Lime Tea Publications? It was a small comic book publisher out of Buckshot County, but, we had some good years. Anyhow, I thought one of my past enemies might have taken revenge by killing my uncle. Then I found this shoebox among Uncle Larry's belongings.
Looks like home movies.
These are reel-to-reel audio tape recordings. I'm glad these clues were in audio format.
Why?
Well, audio is more versatile. If we presented this evidence to corrupt police or DAs, and they stonewalled us, we could broadcast these recordings to the public.
If the clues were notes or drawings, we could get the word out by printing it in a book or a pamphlet or a newspaper.
Who reads books these days? The only thing people read in newspapers are Alley-Oop, Terry and the Pirates, and the sports section.
I suppose.
But there's something special about audio. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Anyone hearing me right now understands how convenient it is that we're dealing with clues in audio format instead of visuals. Don't you agree?
Are you still talking to me? It sounded like you might be talking to somebody else. There must be 24 reels in here. We don't have to listen to all these, do we?
Most of them are episodes of Bold Venture and Lux Radio Theater recorded off the radio. However, I found 2 that seem to hold pertinent clues. Uncle Larry recorded himself talking about his days in the military. The first reel is queued up on this portable tape player.
What was I saying before I ran out of tape? Oh, well, me and the boys of the 2nd Recon Battalion had about as much as we could stand of this new gunnery sergeant. It's not the way he increased the training regimen, We could handle that. It's that he was abusive. Long marches, collective punishment of the whole platoon for one soldier's screw-up, firing live ammunition at us on the obstacle course, commenting on our activities at the urinals. Constant use of profanity. Plus, there was a soldier found dead one morning just outside of camp. They couldn't trace it back to Gunny. So, it was practically self-defense when we decided to kill him. We convinced this tall, strapping lad to...
Humphrey Bogart and Bacall.
Sorry, he must have recorded over that part later. Let me stop this one and load the next reel.
Are you playing that at the right speed?
Yeah, that's just how Uncle Larry sounded.
This story sounds familiar.
Well, it's the classic military tale of a leader treating his troops harshly, creating unit cohesion by getting them all united in their hatred of him, then gaining their respect and unquestioning loyalty after he leads them successfully in battle. Here we go, reel 2.
So, after the radio operator had been blown to smithereens, everybody liked how he used that credit card phone trick. Actually placing a phone call to the base and having them patch it through to call in an artillery strike was quite novel. I'm trying to record here, Bonnie! Jesus Christ. So after we completed Operation Urgent Fury in Grenada, and everyone's celebrating, Jonesy, who had been the biggest proponent of mutiny against Gunny, he gets everybody to quiet down and he says, "Hey guys, I was wrong about Gunny. Forget everything I said about him and the Marine Corps and how military hierarchy is just a way of replicating European aristocracy. I know you all love Gunny Highway as much as I do now. What do you say we make him into the King of the United States of America?" And everybody else in the platoon shouts, "Yeah!" And then Swede says, "Wait, we don't have kings in the United States. That's why we fought the Revolutionary War." So Jonesy says, "Let's make Gunny into a warlord who controls the territory of the whole USA." And everybody shouts, "Yeah!" And they start talking about how to do it. Except for Swede, who says, "Really? You guys like the idea of a warlord?" And they're not shouting in response this time, but everybody's kind of muttering, "Yeah, sure, I don't know." Swede says, "Warlord doesn't sound really, you know." So then Jones says, "Let's say we make Gunny Highway into the CEO of our corporation, controlling half the globe, way more powerful than if he was a warlord." And that just brought the house down. Everybody cheered and loved that idea, even Swede. Come to think of it, Swede might have been the one whose corpse was found outside the camp one morning. I can't remember. But you know, what a time to be alive.
Oh, the tape ended there. What do you think?
That's a Clint Eastwood movie.
I know, it's like a Clint Eastwood movie waiting to be made.
No, he's describing a movie Clint Eastwood made years ago called Heartbreak Ridge. I'm afraid your Uncle Larry was either lying or mixing fiction with his memories. Never mind. Why did these tapes make you think someone had murdered your uncle?
It sounds like there was a lot of backstabbing and criminality among that group of men Uncle Larry fought with. I figured one of them might have had a grudge against him.
There's nothing else in the shoebox? Not that I want to listen to more tapes.
No, I've listened to them several times, and these were the only pertinent items.
What about this scrap of paper down the side of the box?
I didn't think that would tell us anything.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
Mr. DeSoto, there's nothing to be ashamed of, but you don't have to pretend. Can you read?
Yes.
This note settles the whole thing. Why did we have to waste all that time listening to tapes?
I really think the answer lies in what he dictated about his days in the Corps.
If you find me dead from a heart attack, I was poisoned by that schmuck Herb Terpstra. He's been talking since high school about how he could get away with murder using a toxin that mimics a heart attack. Ever since he lost the bet about how long the Archbishop of Constantinople would live, I've been expecting him to kill me so he could get out of pain.
That couldn't explain it. The medical examiner found no wounds or injection marks on the body.
The note continues. Terpstra always talked about making the injection inside the victim's urethra where their coroner wouldn't spot it.
They told me your methods might seem incomprehensible, to the average person. But by gosh, Mr. Zildjian, I think you might have solved the mystery.
Sometimes you have to think inside the box. Can you follow up with the medical examiner?
Sure, we'll have Uncle Larry exhumed and that. Tell me, what guides your intuition when unraveling such a complex puzzle?
This gun in my hand.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. I should probably get back to my previous investigation.
What was that?
That was the subject of my previous investigation. Unboxing Murder, episode 18 of This Gun in My Hand, was bellowed by Rob Northrop, with a special guest appearance by Flicka the Ladybug as Bonnie and the voice of the bellowing monster. Go now and visit thisguninmyhand.blogspot.com to buy my books, such as Little Heist in the Big Woods and Other Revisionist Atrocities, and for credits, show notes, and details on how to subscribe. Come on, what's in the box? This gun in my hand.